A story without a sad narrative may not be able to go deep and make the audience not forget that game forever, and From Software seems to have understood this well. So the story of Elden Ring, just like the real world, has sad points that we must address. The Omen or Morgott. Basically, they're born with horns, which used to be viewed very positively by the crucible. However, as the Greater Veil took over, it's thought to erase all signs of the crucible, so the Omen become haunted, enslaved, or past case, shunned to the sewers. The hunters are designed to be as menacing and torturous as possible in their slaughter of the Omen. So terrible, the Omen are constantly tormented even in their sleep by the horrible dreams of their inevitable fate. They did nothing to deserve this, they're simply born that way, and for it they're damned. Additionally, even after all this, when they do die, even then they find no solace, as the Erdtree, being a force of the Greater Veil, also shuns them, refusing to take them into the tree, as it does with most other life. The saddest part about Morgott is that he was legitimately blessed. Omen curse is no curse, it's a blessing of the crucible, which was later seen as a curse due to the Golden Order. He may as well have been the most holy of all demigods, because he was punished for it by being left for a time in the sewers, and he hated himself for it. That is until he was released, most likely by the time giants were still a threat, since Erdtree knew him and he was banished after he beat the giants. He thought no one loved him, when it's clear his father did, and maybe the only person that he knew that did care was Godwin, but he was killed in the Night of the Black Knives. He created centuries torches to protect his other siblings, and yet they all betrayed him and destroyed everything he loved. And even then, when he shows up in the throne room and calls his sibling traitors, he still seems to have some actual care for them after all of that. Outside of Rykard, who may have taken more public role in killing Godwin as part of his deal with Ranni, which could have been the start of his blasphemy. Morgott was a good person that was betrayed by almost everyone around him, by his family that started destroying their life and breaking their world, by the Erdtree which wouldn't accept him due to his curse, and by Golden Order which indoctrinated him into hating what he was blessed with. Morgott is probably one of the saddest characters in the game, if not the saddest. A bitter person who has nothing but hatred for himself and his family, and the only thing he cares about is the thing that made his life miserable in the first place. Golden Order, or the Greater Will. And the only people that loved him are either dead, like Godwin, who, given that he befriended dragons, most likely cared little about Curse on Morgott, or he never got to know they loved him, like Erdtree. At the end, when we fight him, he is legitimately left with nothing but the crumbling city and his duty, which is built on lies of the Greater Will. So pray for Morgott the Omen King, the grace given, the true king of Leyndell and only worthy successor of Erdtree, a true heir, the only demigod left that is worthy of being called Golden, Morgott the Golden Omen. Godwin was assassinated for many reasons. He was the golden boy of the Golden Order. Everyone loved him. He had the power and the charisma to both defeat the dragons, then pull them into the Golden Order after whooping them. He was the perfect heir to the Elden Throne. With him leading, I have no doubt that the golden age of the Golden Order would have lasted thousands and thousands of years, and all would have prospered. But he was the son of Marika, and so perfect that no one else would be able to live up to him. But then we have Ranni. She is the daughter of Rennala, the Carian queen who was cast aside by Redegan so that he could pursue the blonde goddess Marika. Obviously, Ranni didn't know that he was forced to leave Rennala. But maybe in her eyes it was a betrayal. Ranni loved her mother and idolized her, enough to model her signature spell after her mother's and enough to make a simulacrum to protect her mother. She picked Godwin to kill for many reasons. If he was left alive, he would have stopped her from destroying the Golden Order, and I think one of the reasons she killed him is because he was Marika's golden child, and Marika, in Ranni's eyes, was the woman who stole her father and caused her mother fragile mental state. It was both a mental revenge on Marika personally and her best chance of winning the war that would inevitably start after. The reason Godwin is spreading is because his body, being alive and soulless, grows and mutates into the blind veins and roots and begins to crop the lands between and disrupt the flow of energy and souls that goes from the catacombs through the great roots to the Erdtree. Maybe the reason he looks the way he looks is cause his body is absorbing crucible energy from the great roots, which are the roots of the crucible tree, which we know mutates things and gives them animal aspects. Godwin even cared about Morgott. Hell, he even cared about Mikola and Melania. This person was not a cruel person like the rest of the Golden Order. He is like Ned Stark in Game of Thrones, or better than him. But thanks to Ronnie, he is now experiencing an unbelievable pain. Well, we have already talked about Vike and Bernal, but now one more reminder should be done to make things a little bit more solid. Let's start with Bernal. Bernal almost became the Elden Lord, only have his maiden died to the fire did he give up and join the Manet. That makes two Tarnish who loved their maiden that they couldn't continue without them. Bernal turned against the fingers believing to be responsible, and Vike turned to the flame of frenzy hoping to use his own body to save his maiden. But according to the Beast Champion armor description, this armor befits a champion worthy of becoming a lord, and that is what Bernal was until his maiden threw herself into the fire. Meaning Bernal was closer to becoming Elden Lord than Vike was, because Vike refused to burn his maiden. But Vike was your closest rival because his armor says no other Tarnish was closer to the throne of Elden Lord than Vike. But maybe in general the whole lands between is in an eternal state of suffering, regardless of what we do in it. I mean, Morgott tried his hardest to fit into the Golden Order, even denying his own appearance by removing his own horns and refusing to use magic that went against the principles of the order. He suffered because of that and because of his brother who chose a different path. Godric was shunned by his family. Renala was abandoned by Radagon for no apparent reason. Ranni feels bad about the state her mother is in. General Radahn gets infected by the Scarlet Rot and is cursed to forever wander his arena. Mikola gets cursed with eternal childhood, and Omen steals him away and he fails to save his sister and the people that were counting on him. Melania gets infected with a Scarlet Rot just like Radahn. She is so sick with it by the time that Morg gets there that she is unable to stop him from stealing Mikola. Morg gets shunned by the Golden Order because of his appearance. Rykard, a serpent god, eats him whole, but he still can't beat the gods. Godwin dies in a horrible way. Goldmask discovers the truth about the Golden Order and changes all view on it. Rodrika gets abandoned by her comrades because she was useless to them. Geddon Unfair discovers the truth about Marika but ends up suffering because of it. Also, he knows that he can't become Elden Lord because he doesn't believe it's possible for a Tarnish to become one. Malikov was a loyal good boy and was noble in his intentions of stopping the spread of death throughout the land. He served and lived for Marika faithfully. Everything he does is for her, but she betrayed him. First, if you kill him in the Bastille Sanctum, he will say, why does Marika goal him? Goal means betrayal, so Malikov knows she betrayed him. Furthermore, his remembrance says Malikov was a shadowbound beast given to his Empyrean. Marika's sole need of her shadow was a vessel to lock away distant death. Even then, she betrayed him. Marika betrayed her own loyal shadow. Imagine if Ranni betrayed Belides. And this will continue. And in general, I think that not only we can split this video into two parts, but also talk a little bit about the complexity of lands between, about death, about suffering, and all that. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please consider subscribing and like the video. Till next time.